So it's come to light, albeit via a Freedom of Information request, that over 1 million foreign-born residents in Britain are claiming benefits. And it seems that the more that you dig into the benefit system's data, the worse it gets. Although it's a bit like pulling teeth because the government do not want you to know these things. It's one thing for someone who's British born and has lived there all their life, paid taxes, contributed, getting a helping hand in tough times, but it's quite another for people who have come here for whatever reason, paid little or nothing into the system, and then receive money paid by actual UK citizens. And this is the thing to remember, it's money that everyday ordinary British people pay, alongside money paid by a small proportion of British-born foreigners or foreign people who've just come here to work or live, etc. So unfortunately, I haven't seen a breakdown of what benefits these people get. It would be useful to know what they are. There was a segment where I saw some of the breakdown of the countries these folk come from, so I'll just quickly pop that up here now. So the thing is, those with a more liberal bent will say we should treat all equally, regardless of where they come from, as they all need state assistance. But when you point out that there's no equality to the British taxpayers who are funding this, that they are footing the bill for people that they possibly don't even want here in the first place, well, the usual name calling starts. You get called an ist. There's just zero self-awareness that people might not want to foot the bill for those who take from the system but contribute little or nothing. The British sense of fair play, which is a really strong British value, means a lot of ordinary people just feel taken for a ride over this, and who can blame them really? We're happy to pay billions for stuff like this, but yeah, we can't find $500 million, so we don't have to axe the Winter Fuel Allowance of pensioners. We can pay for citizens of other countries, but not our own old folk. I mean, these people from other shores are not as vulnerable as the elderly, and it shows how far our society has fallen to let it come to this. But how will they live, the socialists sort of cry, without money from the government? We insist it's for everybody. Money doesn't grow on trees, as far as I can tell. You get some of it when you get one of those job things. So look, for whatever reason, people can be out of work and claim assistance. It happens. I imagine a lot of us have had that experience. You pick yourself up, you go back to earn, and you keep going. That's kind of how we do things. Times can be tough. We all need a little help once in a while. No one's begrudging that. If you paid into the system, you can get a bit out. If you haven't, it's essentially no better than begging. You're asking people who you don't know for money, they don't have to give you. This is what upsets a lot of people, especially when the money could be used to fund building of schools, hospitals, infrastructure, provide training for nurses, doctors, get more GPs, brickies, sparkies, extra funding for more soldiers and police. It really is time we overhaul the benefit system completely, and this applies to everyone regardless of who they are, where they come from. Excluding the obvious. No one's going after disabilities, long-term illness. People always decry people who want to overhaul the benefit system. So you're targeting the vulnerable. No, that's absolutely not. You're targeting the people that aren't vulnerable, that really shouldn't have the money. It's pretty simple stuff. You can make it so you can't claim unless you have a track record of NI contributions. And that means that you're in a net positive, i.e. you paid more than you've got. There's ways to correct and make the system work. Just one for the job seekers, or as a universal credit as it falls under now, for example. You could have something like you can't claim for more time you've been in work in each calendar year. So say you've worked for 23 weeks that year, okay, well then you can't claim for more than 23 weeks worth after that. If you haven't worked that year, you can't claim at all till you've built a consecutive stretch of work history for, say, at least 12 weeks. That way there's carrot and stick combined. There's a deterrent and an incentive. It's that kind of thing that you need to implement, I'm not saying that exact kind of example, but something along those lines. Now, if only there was the bravery from a political party to implement an idea such as that. You can imagine the howls from the socialists. But something really does need to change. The over £300 billion welfare state is going to bankrupt these Fair Isles, and no one seems to have the bottle to do anything about it.